start again. It's a rich thing.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Bull Show, aka Aidan, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be discussing whether or not the Chicago Bulls have a leadership problem. Now, at the end of the day, the reason why I'm bringing this to your attention and the reason why this video is being made is because in the last couple of videos that I've mentioned, leadership has been a topic of discussion, which for many people might be seen as a concern, as maybe the Chicago Bulls don't necessarily have the leaders that we need to take us forward. And I want to discuss what I think about the situation, and of course, feel free to let me know in the comments below what you guys think about our leadership situation. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bull Show, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below, who do you think the leaders are for the Chicago Bulls? I'd love to know your opinions on our leaders on this team. I do feel like we have multiple leaders on this team, and I guess what I'm trying to say here, at least from my point of view, I personally don't believe we have a major leadership problem. Maybe we have small leadership issues, but I don't think it's anything major compared to what people may have perceived it to be. And I guess I'll talk about why in a little bit. But obviously, when you compare to teams that are a little bit lower than us, yes, they would need leaders as well. We obviously have more leadership power than them. I really even think some of the bigger teams out there that maybe a little bit better than us, we probably still have a little bit more leadership value than them, and I don't necessarily think our leadership is the main issue on this team. But who are our leaders? First and foremost, it's very important to know there are a variety of ways to lead a team. There's a variety of ways to lead yourself as well. Just being a vocal leader does not cut it in the NBA. A very good vocal leader throughout the NBA, Draymond Green. He does incredible things. Obviously, he works very hard. He's a very hard worker, but he's a very vocal leader. He speaks his mind. He speaks what needs to be spoken. He tells the truth, and those things help the teammates around him. Being a vocal leader is incredible, and it is a very good way to lead. But at the end of the day, it is a situation where it's not the only way to lead. So I would say our vocal leader would probably be DeMar DeRozan. Someone that at the end of the day always speaks to his teammates, is very vocal around his teammates, teaching them, bringing them under his wing, and I guess being that person to learn from. That's DeMar DeRozan. That's our leader there. But there are more leaders on this team, in my opinion. For example, I truly 100% in my soul believe that Lonzo Ball is a leader on this team. Is he the most talkative player? No. He always seems to be a chill kind of person. He doesn't really like to be vocal or anything like that. He's someone that I think likes to keep his privacy. He's someone that I personally feel at the end of the day doesn't need to speak as much. But I can guarantee you when he's on the court, he's leading by example defensively. He's the first unit of defense. He's the point guard as well. And I think he's a very good leader on this team. I think he's one of those guys that leads by example. You've obviously got guys like Ayo Dosunmu as well that has a little bit of a leadership characteristics as well. But obviously, since he's a second-year player, he'll need to work on developing them. So there are three guys right there that does have leadership traits at least. One of them is very young. One of them is DeMar DeRozan, who in my opinion is one of the better leaders you can have on this team. And I truly believe Lonzo Ball leads by example as well. I also think Alex Caruso is a very good leader on this team. He's a hard-working player. He always seems to give his feedback on certain situations. He's a guy that's going to put his body on the line for this team. He's the hustler of this team. He's a leader in my opinion. Just because he comes off the bench doesn't mean he's not a leader on this team. So I feel like leadership-wise, especially from the player side of things, I don't think there's a major issue there. Maybe there's minor issues. Maybe some players that we want to be leaders are not necessarily leaders. Maybe guys like Nikola Vucevic, I don't necessarily see him as a leader, but maybe he could develop those traits. I think Zach LaVine will need to take the next step in terms of his leadership qualities as well. Not always deferring, and sometimes, I guess, being the guy on the team. Sometimes that has to happen. I wouldn't say every game that has to happen, but maybe sometimes if it's Zach LaVine's time, it's Zach LaVine's time. Let him lead us through, and hopefully we can walk away with a couple of wins when he does that. And maybe other guys as well we would want to be leaders, but that's really the only concern if you're a Chicago Bulls fan. Maybe certain guys that you think should be leaders might just not be those leaders. But in terms of the guys that we have that are leaders, in my opinion, it's a very good combination of guys. It's multiple guards. It's DeMar DeRozan who's been there and done that. And I think even Io as well is someone that is developing his leadership traits, and I see him being a defensive leader, but also a vocal leader on this team. How many times did you see Io DeSumo tell guys like Zach LaVine, tell guys like a Kobe White, tell guys like DeMar DeRozan even to play a little bit more defense, or sometimes hold him back when there's certain situations where there could potentially be a technical foul that goes on? Io DeSumo is the one that holds them back. Io DeSumo is the one that brings common sense to the situation as well, saying we need these types of guys. Io DeSumo, in my opinion, is going to be a very big leader on this team for a long time to come. These are the leaders that we have. Can we have more leaders? Of course we can. If we could get more leaders on this team, I think we have a variety of ways to go and win games, from vocal leaders to leaders by example to hardworking players to hustlers. All these are characteristics of leadership. Communication, all of those things are very, very important. And of course, I think the Chicago Bulls could always do better with more leaders. But is it a massive issue for the Chicago Bulls? At least from the players' standpoint, I don't think so. I think we do have a little bit of leaders. I think we have guys that will lead by example. I think even when we're down by 20, 30, 40 points, there are going to be guys throwing their body on the line, trying to set an example for this team. DeMar is still going to be a vocal leader, telling guys what to do and where to be. Io is still going to give 110%. Obviously, Lonzo as well. All these guys are still going to be leaders on this team. Even guys like Vucevic, I think he's a very good team player, but I wouldn't necessarily call him the leader. And I think Zach LaVine has been the leader for so long, but last year he might have not been the leader because of other guys around him. Zach LaVine could be a leader also. I think the leadership issue mainly could potentially come from our coaching staff. And I've talked about our coaching staff for a while now, and I don't mean to badmouth them all the time, because I do feel like we have a much better coaching staff than what we've had in the past. And this is a massive upgrade, and I still think Billy Donovan is a very good coach. But I do feel like sometimes when we're staying in the same place, we're not finding solutions, we're not vocal enough. That's where I think Billy Donovan needs to improve in his leadership skills. Different rotations, trying to find solutions. Maybe it's, I guess, forcing players to do things. He's always been a guy, I remember hearing this a couple of times, Billy Donovan doesn't scream, he doesn't shout, he doesn't yell. Which at the end of the day, he's a good relationship coach. Everybody has a great relationship with him. People love to be around him. Guys like Zach LaVine saying he's the best coach that he's ever had. These are all positive things, but sometimes these players deserve screams. These players deserve criticism. These players deserve all of the negative things that does come with being a coach as well. Two sides of the coin. So I feel like leadership maybe in the coaching department, maybe there's got to be one guy, an assistant head coach maybe, that could be the vocal guy that will speak the truth, negative and positive. But altogether, I don't personally know if Billy Donovan is a leader or not. He would be the only one that knows that, to be honest, because we don't get to see the training sessions behind closed doors. We don't get to see if Billy Donovan is screaming or not. You just hear what you hear and you take that as your word. But I do feel like if there was going to be an issue with our leadership, it would be with the coaching staff, in all honesty. So that's where my issue lies. Is it a big issue? No. I always feel like a head coach should be a leader. Again, you're the coach. You call the plays. You call the shots. You got to do everything. I think a coach that steps back does show lack of leadership skills. So maybe he's not a leader, but I personally can't say that with 100% conviction. So let me know in the comments below as well if you feel Billy Donovan is a leader on this team or not, and just the coaching staff in general. Do they have the ability to lead and guide a team through tough times? We'll wait and see what the outcome will be. Obviously, very good season last year, big step in the right direction. Can we make leaps forward from there as well, including our coaching staff? Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in another Chicago Bulls video. Have a wonderful and safe day. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care. And